entire cascade is the roof. Like all the roofs are greened, extensive, not very large. I mean, there are different ways to green a roof, starting from extensive greening, like with such a substrate layer. Yeah, exactly that. And what you find on the green roof is actually what nowadays grows here. They jump from the roof to the ground. Yeah. So this is actually what grows up there on the green roofs. And this already keeps a lot of water. It's incredible, but 6 centimeters of substrate really has a crucial impact on the runoff. Yeah.
6 centimeters of soil.
It's here. It's I guess 6 centimeters. Nowadays you build more. You go to 10 centimeters, and if you can, you put even more, because then you get the thicker the substrate, the more diversity of plants you get. You can build more grass. You can, if you have more than like 20, 30 centimeters, you can grow scrubs. Yeah.
And how much? What should be a roof for intensive type of green roof?
For intensive,
more than half a meter, I guess.
no, we start with 30 centimeters. Like for intensive greening, we start with around 30 centimeters. But actually, the second layer, that's now the second step, is everything which is left from the roofs ends here on the parking lot. Everything besides this little space is a parking house, yeah. And on this parking house, we have around 80 centimeters of substrate. So it's the second very intensive roof, and this is something that we do a lot, because in inner cities we nowadays build a lot of parking houses, and they are perfect for intensive greening. So even though those shrubs, those trees, they are all built on this very intensive layer. It's 80 centimeter, and all the water coming from the roof ends in the second layer here. And as you can see, especially the shrubs, they're developing very fine. The trees, as you can see, they're not that good. So you have to be careful which type of tree you choose. But this combination of green roof and then a very intensive substrate layer on the parking lot is very good. And it's especially for climate adaptation strategies interesting, because what we are facing is a lack of water. Yeah, like the last 100 years, we planned drainage system with the general thinking of how do we get rid of the water. Now with climate change, it's more where do we get the water from? Yeah, so it's more it's becoming a resource now, and we're very happy that we finally reached this point to understand stormwater as a resource. And then you have to think about distribution. Okay, where do I want the water? Do I want it on the roof, or do I want it here on the ground where plants, trees, shrubs could benefit? So for a long time we planned with very intensive green roofs to keep the water up there. But we slowly get to the point that we think, probably extensive roof is fine, and we get the water here to the ground so the trees and the shrubs can benefit. Yeah? Sure, if you have very dense neighborhoods, it's sometimes still beneficial to keep the water up on the roof, because we have something called the flood protection proof. So we have to prove that private property will not be inundated by a 100 years event, and sometimes we just need the roof to keep the water there to prevent flooding in the ground. But so this is the second step, and then all the water left from the entire building gets out here. So that's all. And if you think about what you normally put, the size of tubes that you put on the ground for normal building drainage, normally 200, 300 millimeters. This is all. This is what is left from the entire draining system. And as you can see, it's not really a swale. It's just a green space. There's a second one here. So that's all. And the entire plan for this area just defines this little area as unbuilt area. Everything else is sealed with the building, with the parking lot. Just this little square has a free infiltration zone. Yeah? But it's enough. It's enough if you consider all parts of the building as a space for retention. So that's like the clue. If you retain at every level of your private property, it's enough to deal with this very little space here. Yeah? So this is like the magic about the water management on the private property. The law, the technical rules said no trees in irrigation, no trees in infiltration system. They were afraid of the roots, of bad interaction, and we said it's bullshit. We say trees must stand in infiltration system, and the soil water content is as high as it should be when the water is going down to the groundwater. So we really connect just this water that would go to the groundwater, and we analyzed it, and we could see there's no contamination that should that would speak against the system. Like we have thresholds in our water laws, and this water is just fine regarding our existing water laws. So this is that's one of the we have 3 test sites, and this is one of the test sites where we could show that there's facilities that work now for 25 years. They're not a hazard for groundwater protection.